So you've decided to expand your clothing line by adding a few all-over products. In this video, we'll help you to get started by going through our must-follow guidelines and show you how to create designs for all-over products completely free without buying or installing extra software. All-over or cut-and-sew products go through a printing process where your design is printed on paper with dye ink and then transferred directly onto the fabric with heat. Then it gets cut and hand-sewn together into product you ordered. With direct-to-garment printing, your design is printed on a specific area of the product, but with all-over printing, your design can cover the whole product. Now let's go over the ground rules you should follow when creating designs for all-over products. Make sure to stay until the end, where I'll go over an actual example created with our graphic design team and show you how to easily create custom pattern designs in Printful's Mockup generator. Before we begin, subscribe to our channel and tap on the bell icon to stay updated about our latest videos. Submit files in PNG or JPEG format with at least 150 dpi. If you want your design to have a transparent background, then PNG is the best way to go. This way you can add any of the background colors available in our Mockup generator. Otherwise, use JPEG if you want to avoid any transparencies in your design. Create files in the sRGB color profile. To make sure your design looks the same when printed as it does on screen, create your print file with the sRGB color profile. We also have a short video on our channel about color correcting for print, so check that out after. Don't use adjacent colors. Adjacent colors are also called analogous and refer to neighboring hues on the color wheel. On products that are made of thicker fabric like fanny packs, backpacks, and bean bags, designs tend to look darker when printed, and colors that are too close to each other in value can end up blending together. We recommend increasing the contrast for better exposure and avoiding colors that are too close in value. Use full bleed images. For maximum coverage, use full bleed images with graphics that span across the entire dimension of the file. However, if your design covers only a part of the print area, make sure that it has a transparent background and submit the image as a PNG. Any space that isn't covered by your design will show bare fabric. That's why patterns and full bleed images usually turn out the best. Pay attention to the safe print area. All our product files are scalable, which means that depending on the size, the design will be proportionately scaled down. So keep all the important graphics or text within the safe print area to avoid missing design elements on the finished product. This will also prevent important design elements from being sewn into the seams. Remove print file template guidelines. If you use our downloadable templates, delete the guide layers before saving your files. If you don't delete them, they'll show up on the print. Now, some products might come with an inside or an outside label. Here are a few things you need to keep in mind. Don't submit white inside label graphics without a background color, since the inside label print area is white by default. We suggest using the entire inside label print area to avoid any blank white spaces on the products. If you want to add your logo but the product doesn't come with label options that include branding within your design. When it comes to inside and outside labels for all of our products, you don't need to include size or material information. They're also included in the product price, so you don't need to pay extra. Use these tips as a foundation when you create your designs. You can always refer to our guidelines for the particular product you're designing. Ordering color swatches for all of our products. If it's your first time creating a design for an all-over product, you need to make sure that the colors in your design match the actual product as close as possible. You can do that by ordering a color swatch. Here's how. Once you log into your Printful account, click on New Order, select your store, and click on Sample Order. From there, select an all-over product from the available quick links and proceed to checkout. You can also upload your own custom color swatch with the colors specific to your design. Now, let's learn how to create a design for an all-over product with Printful's Mockup generator using free clip art. You'll find the Mockup generator on our navigation bar here. The first thing you'll see is our product catalog. Here, I'll choose women's clothing, then I'll click on leggings, and select all-over print leggings. Pay attention to the left side of the screen. Here we have an option to select the stitch color. Choose a color that matches your design before you order or add the product to your store. For example, if your leggings have a design with light or pastel colors, you'll want the stitches to be white. But for designs with darker colors, select black for a more cohesive look. I'll select white for now and then switch over to the Design tab. Since I'll create a design from the elements available in the Mockup generator and I don't want the white fabric to show on the finished product, I'll need to fill the entire work area with color. By selecting Print Area Background Color, I can do just that. On some products, like the all-over fanny pack, you'll notice the Apply to All Placements checkbox that's selected by default. This means that the chosen color will be applied to the entire design, like you see here. Next, I'll click on the Add Clip Art tab. And from the holiday shapes, I'll select this element and drag it over to my print file view. On the left side of the screen, you can see that a new layer was created automatically. Now I can start making adjustments to this layer directly in the print file view. I'm going to scale it down and rotate it manually. This can also be done by using the sliders located here. Don't forget to pay attention to the print quality information when scaling the design elements. Now I'll choose a brighter hue for the square element. Next, I'll click on Make a Pattern. This will open up a new window where I can select a different pattern type and adjust the spacing between the repeating elements. For this example, I'll choose the block pattern type and leave the spacing at 0. Now let's go back to the design tools by clicking here and add another clip art element. I'll change its position, size, and color, and then make a pattern out of it as well. This time I'll adjust the spacing and change the pattern type to half drop. And just like that, in a few clicks, we have ourselves a pattern design that covers the entire surface without any empty areas. When it comes to Printful's pattern tool, there are a few things to consider. Patterns can be created using an uploaded file or any of our clip arts. It's available for all of our products, wall art, mugs, and phone cases. Pattern layers can be duplicated on multiple placements. In addition to that, we have a new flip functionality that can be used to mirror your designs on other placements. Next, I'll add a few more things to complete the design. I'll add another element, this heart clip art, scale it down, reposition it, and change its color to white. I want to place it on the shin area, which would be located somewhere around here. I need to make sure that it doesn't go over the safe print area. Next, I'll duplicate the layer with this clip art element by clicking here and place it on the other leg. To ensure the identical placements on both elements, I just need to follow the smart guides that appear when I move the file in the preview area. As a finishing touch, I want to add a line that goes diagonally above the heart clip art. I can do that by selecting a rectangle element and scaling it down, duplicating and repositioning it until it forms a perfect line on both legs. This seemed like a good idea at the time, but thanks to our new addition, we can see how our design looks in 3D by clicking on 3D view. We can immediately see that the lines I created go in spiral and end abruptly. As an alternative, we can use two shapes, rotate them diagonally, and make sure that they intersect with one another in the middle of the safe print area for each leg to create a wraparound effect. However, despite how your design looks in the 3D view or in the generated mockup images, we don't recommend using wraparound graphics because we can't guarantee exact placement, it's not possible to perfectly align patterns or images from front to back, and elements outside of the safe print area are not guaranteed to appear fully on the finished product. This helps to prevent misalignment, which can happen due to fabric moving while being hand-sewn together. So, if you want to add any extra elements to your design, the best option is to include them within the safe print area and make sure that they don't wrap around the product. But be aware that on different product sizes, these elements will be placed slightly differently due to proportional scaling. If you prefer to create your own full bleed designs in other software, remember to look up the file dimensions of our sample images. You can see them here. In case anyone in our audience is using Krita, we have a video on Facebook where our illustrator Eric shows you how to create a design from scratch and incorporate it into our mockup generator. I'll leave a link below, so make sure to check it out. That's all for today. Hope this video will help you create amazing best-selling designs for all of our products. If you have any more questions, then leave a comment and we will answer.